rest of the event. So I'm going to talk to you today about why partners drive customer satisfaction. I'm going to skip past the agenda slide because I hate agenda slides. The agenda is whatever I choose to talk about. So who's Upriver? We were established in 2002. We're in Gulf Breeze, Florida. If you've never been there, you should go. It's really beautiful. We have about 210 employees today. We were born in the cloud. We've never shipped a device. And here we go. And today we have about 47,000 customers. We've been global since day one. We have office footprints outside the U.S. Today, and that is growing. About 8.5 million hosted and on-prem mailboxes worldwide are touched by our technology today. And our business is still seems like stuck in a sort of perpetual hockey stick, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's kind of tiring, but it always leaves a smile on our faces. So we're one of the three primary exchange hosting service providers in the U.S. today. But I'm here to talk to you about, of course, Office 365, and specifically about syndication, which I feel kind of funny using that term because it's actually being retired as we speak. Hopefully not me along with it. But this is a one-way slide that the marketing team worked very hard on. But Gulf Breeze is where most of Upriver lives. But you can bump into us in a few other interesting places around the world. This is another brag slide. I'm going to skip past that real quick. Sorry, marketing team. So this is a slide that the marketing team really likes to have in every deck. And this is, maybe some recognizable brands in here that are Upriver clients. But I told them to insert this one because I want you guys to know about central lawn sprinklers and A1 fine dry cleaning and roof maintenance and systems. We're here to talk about SMBs. We're here to serve SMBs. These are the rock stars of our customer universe, and I know they are of yours as well. And I think it's about time they got some props, right? So the pyramid, everybody knows about the pyramid. 98% of businesses in the U.S. have fewer than 100 PCs. Our 47,000 customers today equate to a per seat average. Per client seat count for hosted services of around 17 or 18 users. Phenomenal care is the sort of DNA element of our approach to hosted services in the cloud. No excuses onboarding is key to what we do. Every user, every device, every supported feature enabled, or we don't walk away. And I don't even have to talk to the people in the room to know that that's exactly the level of commitment that you guys bring to every activation that you do. And we love you for that. We've got a suite of online services served up from our proprietary customer portal. Again, I'm here to talk about Office 365. But there's a lot of other stuff to go along with that. And as I've sat through a couple of the sessions this morning, I've heard the sort of audible click when I hear from people like Zimstra that are bringing forward mature, well-developed solutions that snap onto Office 365 and do things for your clients and for Office 365 and for you. That I think the great phrase earlier was attention should be paid to the room that Microsoft has left in the Office 365 ecosystem for betterment, for improvement, for faster, smarter, simpler. We launched as a syndication partner, and if you want to know what syndication means, since it's actually being a retired term here, come by our booth, and I'll be happy to tell you the whole story. behind it. But it was the lead hosting service provider partner model back in the summer of 2011 when Office 365 for Business was rolled out. It was an effort on Microsoft's part to reach out to companies like AppRiver and Intercall and Bell Canada and companies from different walks. There were telcos in there were some distributors in there who had well-established practices serving the SMB, because I think in a moment of real self-honesty, Microsoft recognized that it would be some time well into the foggy future before they developed a small business customer experience that somebody would want to blog about in a positive way. So that was us. How do we know that we know how to serve the SMB? Well, we were built for it. We never conceived, and still don't today, of ourselves as being in the search for a larger customer. In fact, really large customers, we just finished a 4,200 seat 365 onboarding, and they tend to be the kind of projects that make you want to be retired early. So in this quest that we've been on for 12 years to perfect an SMB customer experience and a partner experience to go along with that, we've landed on some metrics that they certainly speak to me. I don't know about you guys, but I've done a lot of these events, and usually when this slide comes up and the one after it, people come up to me and say, "You're a liar." But that's fine with me. The slide's really just intended to show that 3 years ago, this experiment that we launched to see if we could wrap an AppRiver partner and customer experience around a product that was hosted somewhere else, namely in Microsoft data centers, would work. We've now had 3 years to find that out, and the important metrics to us: converting leads to trials, converting trials to clients, activating users, which means a human user assigned to a license coming into work every day and being productive with the solution that you provided, and then the 1 and 2 year retention numbers. This is what I spend most of my time looking at, and this is what I would spend most of my time answering for if these numbers didn't look like this. AppRiver's partner-centric. 67% of all of our new customers come from partners like you. About 50% of all of our corporate revenue comes from that channel business, that partner business. Since 2011, we've activated just over 4,000 business customers on Office 365 and about 70,000 end users. The partner ecosystem at AppRiver is similar to the eFolder ecosystem, it sounded like, in terms of size and maybe in terms of makeup, I don't know. Our Office 365 involvement presented our partners. We've certainly all been talking about that, thinking about that here. Our involvement caused a lot of our partners to call us up and say, "What are you guys doing? Why are you doing this?" Same sort of questions they might have asked Microsoft at the time, might still be asking today. For us, it was partly an on top of the bear versus under the bear scenario. But it was also this experiment. It was also this belief that what small business customers and their partners buy from us and buy from every vendor they can find that understands this is they buy what it feels like to be your customer or your partner. They don't buy a mailbox. They don't buy SharePoint. They don't buy OneDrive. They don't buy security. That comes along. That's the come along. But for those of us who are passionate about the SMB is populated by relationship people. Everything that they see and do, they filter through the lens of, does that look like the way I want to treat my customers? And their customers are hometown, local people they know and see and deal with face-to-face every day. And you guys are the bridge between that world and this one. So our partners have the number of AppRiver partners that are active with us on Office 365 has doubled in the last 9 months, and I'm going to tell you why. But I'd like to back that up just a little bit and make sure you understand that for 3 years leading up until 2.5 years leading up until the end of 2013, by business rule, our partners, we have about 2,000 of them today globally, our partners, nor any of the partners of syndicators, were allowed to control the billing and customer relationship for their Office 365 sales. So same rules as applied with Microsoft. AppRiver had to bill their customers directly. Their customers had a direct support relationship with us. And we all did everything we could do with that, but that wasn't even close to being enough. So we worked real closely with some fantastic Microsoft people, some people that are also passionate about the SMB, passionate about partners, on creating a business case for what came to be known as two-tiered distribution. And I'll tell you some more about that, but this slide is intended to show you that that work and that business case was borne out in experience. When I said we've been involved in a hockey stick sort of event for quite a while now, this is what I'm talking about. This goes back to the summer of 2013 and through September of this year. These are the kind of numbers you want to share during your quarterly business review. So what do we bring to the table? I've talked a little bit about partners. I've talked about the customer experience. I'd like to put a little finer point on it. Partner certification and training is one example of the commitment that we've made that, quite honestly, everybody who participates in this new ecosystem of Office 365 plus partners plus SMB customers is going to have to sort of come to grips with, and that is, how do you go from that's not interesting to me or that's too difficult to incorporate in my business to something that you can work with without building your own machine, without carving your own wheel and coming up with your own solution. Syndication afforded for partners for the entire ecosystem a laboratory in which competent, mature companies like AppRiver and others could work out the kinks, find out what you guys needed, get to work on them. I wish that we had been able to accomplish more of that work in the 3 years we've had. There's still a lot ahead of us, but we're getting there. And I think maybe the easiest way for me to express what I'm trying to say now is that the only place you have to look is not Microsoft when you want to know how do we do that. Syndication is this weird little petri dish where, at scale, a lot of the answers to a lot of the questions that I've heard this morning have been created. They've been created just by trial and error. They've been created by building new systems and interfaces. They've been created by perfecting the sales motion, a lot of other things. So I talked about snap-in solutions before. I hope you guys get this. Microsoft has left a big backyard for us to go play in. Encryption, archiving, compliance, management. There's just an awful lot of space for a lot of great third-party solutions and a lot of great work that you guys do when you're working directly with customers to what I call to complete Office 365 for the SMB. So we found that really good Office 365 interactions start with really good conversations. Office 365, is there anybody here that believes that that's an e-commerce click-to-buy product? Good. You guys got it. It's not. It's a conversation. It's a discussion. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of still ambiguity 3 years later. What does that mean? What is an E1? What is Office 365? Businesses that commit to having high-quality pre- and post-sales interactions, extensive discussions with even very small customers, find that's one of those areas. It's not a new product that you snap in there. You just snap in a pre-sales consult that nobody else can do, and it's powerful. Vertical markets, I doubt that there's anybody here that doesn't feel like they align one way or the other. I will tell you that for me personally, the SMB is a vertical market. SMBs actually also happen to be law firms and insurance firms and doctors' offices and clinics and accountants. These are not bullet points that I would want anybody to take a note about. These are bullet points to share something of what we think we've learned about how much room there is to create the delivery vehicle for this incredibly rich, value-driven platform that Microsoft's put out there for us to mess with. So ways we can help you. I mentioned certification. We use our own computer-based training platform to deliver to partners Office 365 sales certification and support certifications. We weren't sure what the receptiveness was going to be amongst our partner base, but I think we actually kicked it off in February of this year, and almost 1,000 of our partner personnel have gone through one or both of the certifications that we offer. These are, we may have gotten it all wrong, by the way, I'll acknowledge that, but to be clear, these are AppRiver certifications. So we took what we've learned over the last year, we distilled it down to something that we felt like most of our partners could consume without taking their entire team out of the field for 3 days. They got to the red meat quickly, but the reviews have been really strong. We've got certificates and branding behind all of this that we hope will lead to some increased recognition that it takes something special for an MSP to do Office 365 right. Maybe I shouldn't say special. It takes something more than here's Office 365. We have a partner resource center. Everybody's got a partner resource center. Ours probably isn't any better than anybody else's, but it's there. What I'd really prefer to show you on this slide, except I can't create a nice screenshot of it, is that our partner resource center, the one that gets exercised the most, is the team of 15 channel sales advisors that work for me who sit on the phones all day and make things happen for partners. That today, despite the efforts that we've made to create on-demand resources for partners, that continues to be overwhelmingly the way that partners want to engage with us. And it's interesting to me how much that parallels the way that our direct customers want to engage with us. The easy button for most SMBs is the phone today. So having a vendor that answers the phone on the first or second ring, and there's a human being there who is no more than one transfer away from being able to answer your question, again, pretty big deal because it's not baked into Office 365. Surprise, it's not in the product, it's not in the platform. We've got a growing knowledge base and video and text-based technical guides coming online all the time. And here's a screenshot of what's coming soon for us, which is an Office 365 tab in our customer portal. We use role-based access here to give partners an appropriate multi-tenant management view for Office 365 and other AppRiver services, and then to enable the most common service and user administration functions that partners need in order to scale quickly and do business 24/7 and all the other things that may enter into that. I realized I kind of blew through that, but I really did want to because Harry was good enough to clarify that this could be very interactive, and I've certainly seen that in others, and I would really prefer to take questions.
So we probably got 5 some odd minutes. We're running just a little bit off, but that's okay. We have buffer time built in throughout the day. So any questions you might have, again, it's very interesting to have a conversation with the AppRivers of the world as a syndication partner, essentially an intermediary, because the first question everybody always has, I know you've got it, is why should I go through you? And what you've just done is lay out the value proposition as to why they should go through you instead of, just buying directly from Microsoft.
It worked pretty well for the first 2.5 years, but the missing piece was two-tiered distribution. And so in January, when Microsoft allowed us under NDA to pilot two-tiered distribution in the U.S., they also enabled 2 other syndicators, both of them in Europe, one in Belgium and one in Holland, to pilot this. We weren't allowed to talk about it except to our existing partners, but that restriction was lifted about a month and a half ago. This is the first time I've had a chance to stand up in front of a diverse, independent group of non-AppRiver, non-Microsoft folks to talk about this. But per the opening slide, what it means is nothing more and nothing less than you price it, you sell it, you bill it. We bill our partners on a month-to-month basis. Some of the conditions under which you can control billing in the Office 365 partner ecosystem, things like requiring you to buy an entire year of a license and do I don't know what with it when the user is gone. That's all out of the way in the Office in the AppRiver scenario. Of course, now that it's no longer under NDA, we don't know how long we will be the only entity in the U.S. to do that, but that's the case today. And I'm hoping people have some testing questions for me on what that really means.
And by the way, you'll be on the floor tomorrow,
I will.
And you're here at the show. So let's take a real question. Like I say, we have a few minutes for questions. While I'm walking up to Bob, what I would offer is when I've been involved in this conversation, typically with adult beverages, with some of my audience, there's some people that don't like Microsoft. Now, I'm not going to call you out. The point is, you provide customer choice. That's what I'm getting at. You provide customer choice.
He's got it. You want a job?
Here's one that didn't like. No, just kidding. He likes Microsoft.
Well, that's actually not too far off the mark. I chose not to engage with Office 365 initially because of a lot of different reasons. But then I was forced into getting a few mailboxes for a client, and I just had them go online and I did the work for them and let Microsoft bill them directly. I was not going to get involved with this particular client. It had to do something with the client, not Microsoft. But then when I saw the value of Office 365, when it finally clicked with me, I did a little investigation and chose to work with AppRiver. The partnership I've had with you thus far has been so seamless, so excellent, that I would recommend you unqualified to anybody in this room.
I'm going to drop the mic now. Thank you. I love you.
It's mutual. The ability to true up licenses. And that was without adult beverages, too. Did you notice? The ability to true up licenses on a monthly basis is huge.
Yeah.
It makes it really easy, and it's really good for a lot of organizations where they have to bring in temporary help seasonally, like accountants for tax season and things like that.
Sure.
Huge advantage. The small incremental cost that you charge to be able to give us the support and the onboarding experience that you do is well worth the price. That little extra margin that you take is huge. What we get in return from you is even bigger. So thank you for doing a great job.
I just would like to say that I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I do not. I'll make sure to meet him, but I don't know this gentleman. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I can take 2 questions, and then please find your way to visit with AppRiver tomorrow out on the expo floor and continue the conversation. So maybe 2 more questions, and we'll.
Can I ask one really quick, Harry?
Yeah.
What do we do that makes you mad? Oh, come on.
Microsoft forced it on us. That's usually the first reply.
Now he's got something. Okay. Sorry. It's all right.
The question is, could you just very briefly walk me through an onboarding process for 20 users?
Call us up. That's about 10 digits on the phone. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we can do that smooth it out. There's some things that we can't get around entirely, and then there's some things that we do that make it better, easier, more complete. But it typically starts with you going into your AppRiver partner portal and creating the identity of your client. That means that client is now yours. We can't talk to that client or sell to that client or do anything else for that client without you knowing about it, without you telling us that it's okay, without you inviting us to do it. So you create your client in our AppRiver Partner Pavilion, and you express the licensing preference for the start of that trial subscription. Everything that we offer, Microsoft Trial enables 2 or 3 SKUs in the entire lineup. There are almost 20, I believe. There may even be more than 20 now. And those are somewhat feature-reduced trial SKUs that we don't even use. Microsoft offered them to us, and we realized they would be an obstacle to our onboarding experience, so we don't use them. We simply trial enable every production SKU in the lineup. So you tell us through your Partner Pavilion or on the phone or via email, hey, AppRiver, I have a customer. This is their name. This is who they are. And I want to kick off a trial for them today, a free 30-day trial, and I want them to have 2 seats of the E1 bundle and 3 seats of the E3 bundle. And there's somebody in that company, for whatever reason, that also needs to evaluate Visio Pro. So that's what I want for my trial. And we do some quality control on the backside. It may surprise you guys to know that not every provisioning request that gets sent to Microsoft creates a provisioning event instantaneously. In fact, it pays for human beings with Mark I eyeballs to watch that API call. It's an API call for us, and make sure it happens correctly. So we run interference for you on that, and we save a lot of very icky initial partner and customer experiences by doing that extra quality control. And then we reply back to you. The ticket has now, in our system, has now transitioned from our channel sales team over to our SE team, and that response comes back with detailed instructions for completing the domain verification step. You go put the text record into the customer's DNS that was generated at Microsoft. We push the Check Now button, and Microsoft says, yeah, I see that. Now you can go ahead. And then the way the onboarding experience looks after that has a lot to do with you and your practice. It starts with, what do you want to do for your customer? What kind of onboarding package, what sort of pro services have you or do you want to provide to them? And this is where talking to you and getting to know you as a partner before your first activation means a lot. But after that, we're essentially backstopping everything you do. We're pre-provisioning some domain and other associated help tools in SharePoint and Link. We're smoothing out some of those activations. We're a self-contained PowerShell factory, so we're here to help you with whatever automation and batch handling of tasks that can be done with PowerShell. And we kind of sit back there and wait for you to tell us what else you need. We do use about 70 or 80,000 licenses of MigrationWiz a year. We have a great partnership with BitTitan. That's the gold standard product, and we also backstop our partners on the use of MigrationWiz for email moves. We also have partnered with a company called MetaViz on SharePoint migrations that need software acceleration. And we also work with Champion Solutions Group on an identity management solution for Office 365 that does not come with all of the technical and device overhead of Microsoft's approach to identity management and single sign-on. But fill in the gaps after that.
Scott, we have one last question came off the web. Would this service be able to help migrate from AppRiver 2007 Exchange to Office 365?
Yes. Do it all the time.
Thank you.
All right, folks, last time coming up to talk to Scott, talk to him in the booth.
Thank you.
Tomorrow.